Hello everyone. I will be talking about seeing the future. Why will I talking about this topic? Because we think that seeing the future is the future of IT security. So we are facing a lot of threats nowadays. We are running into problems with ransomware, with exploits. So we need predictive IT security, and this is what I want to talk about today. How we do it at Sophos, we're adding machine learning in form of deep learning to our products. We have synchronized security, a concept where we bring all the products together. But before I start with this in detail, let me have a look at the threat landscape at the moment. We have seen a dramatic change. So we have seen that ransomware has become one of our biggest problems, yes, and ransomware is not a one-time problem. So we often see that organizations are hit at least twice with ransomware, so not so easy to tackle as we expected. We see that the threats are more advanced. So 83% of the people we asked told us that it's more difficult to stop threats nowadays than it was before. And why is that so? Because we have many exploits out there. A few of my colleagues already talked about them, and I have prepared a chart for the National Vulnerability Database. So we have seen a dramatic rise last year when it comes to exploits. I guess all of you are aware of the SMB vulnerabilities in Windows and so on. So typically we had around about 4,000 to 6,000 vulnerabilities a year which could be exploited. Last year we had nearly 15,000. And as of 4th of May, so this month, we already had 5,730, and it's projected to go over 70K. So that's the problem, and that's why we are saying we need some predictive security, and we implemented this security by using deep learning. So predictive security should stop threats that we are unaware of, so 0 days, some new kinds of attacks that we never spotted before, otherwise we are not protected properly. So we need better protection, we need better performance and better accuracy, of course. It's great to invest in something like machine learning, but when you have higher false positive rates, does it help us? No, it doesn't. So we need very good accuracy. So that's also the reason why we invested in deep learning. So deep learning is machine learning based on neural networks. So it's similar to our human brain. So in a beginning of machine learning in IT and IT security, we had decision trees. Pretty simple things like, is the file executable? Yes. Is the file compressed? Yes. And in the end, we had the decision, this is a good file or bad file. Worked well for simple problems, but nowadays problems are not so simple. Therefore, there was new version of these, so we had random forests. That's basically just putting together some few decision trees to receive a better result at the end. But this is not the end of the evolution. So the newest technology that we have, that's deep learning based on neural networks. As I told you before, it's simulating the human brain, and it's like teaching a small child. So we have an IT algorithm here. We have a machine learning algorithm that we are teaching like we would teach a small child. So we can give this algorithm something like a file, and we can tell this algorithm, this is a good file or this is a bad file. So that's the idea behind it. So compared to a small child, if I want to teach my small niece what's a dog and what's a cat, I will walk out in the street, I will tell her, oh, look, that's a German Shepherd, that's a dog. I will tell her, oh, that's a pit bull, that's also a dog. When she sees a small Chihuahua, she will probably think, oh, that's a cat, but no, it's a dog. So we have the power to teach her something, we have the power to correct her. And same applies for deep learning. So we have 30 years experience in the IT security market. We are seeing over 400,000 malware samples a day, 100 million a year, and this is the knowledge that we feed into these models, and we are correcting the model until the moment where we are happy with the results. So here we have a computer model, next generation machine learning, but based on experience of over 30 years, and this is the big advantage. So we have very low false positive rates, we have very high results. So to summarize it, what are the advantages when using deep learning in IT security? The algorithms are smarter than the ones that we've used before. Why are they smarter? Because now we have the power, now we have the CPU, the cloud computing, to be capable of training these models. So this is something that takes several weeks, several months to get trained, but once it's done, you will just receive as customer the result, which gives you high detection rate. It gets even better every day because we're feeding in more data, and it is fast. So we have detections within 20 to 100 milliseconds. You will know if this file is malicious or not. And the model is small, so we are talking about 10 to 20 megabyte, which is not big. Why? Because we only give you the fully learned model and you're ready to go. But the big problem is here, is this the only thing you need? No, we still need other protection in place. Therefore, machine learning won't replace traditional endpoints. Machine learning won't replace exploit prevention, for example. So it's just another add-on. It's just another barrier for the bad guys that the bad guys have to break before they can compromise your systems. We have implemented this solution in our Sophos Intercept X. That's our next generation product, which is not only featuring machine learning, but also has an implementation. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. There we go again. So we are featuring the machine learning in here. We also have exploit prevention, protecting you against attacks like NotPetya, WannaCry, so we can stop the bad guys before they break into your system. We have ransomware protection, so this is a protection that's looking for unauthorized encryption, is taking just-in-time backup copies if a new unauthorized process pops up, and will stop the encryption process and will recover the original file. So you're not losing data at all. And we also have something that we call the protection against hacker activity. So this component is capable of stopping hackers even if they broke into a system and want to spread to your network. We are protecting you against credential theft, so no one can steal your credentials and jump to other machines in your network. This is the protection that we are providing in this specific product. And additionally to this, of course, we also need a cleanup. It's nice to detect something, but it's also important to remove the malicious files from your computer. So herefore, we have a forensic cleanup utility, which is capable of removing everything and getting your computer back in shape again. Last but not least, a root cause analysis giving you an insight how this infection did happen, if someone did some exploit attack, where did it originate from, and so on. So everything combined in this one next generation endpoint product. And the nice thing is it's running beside traditional AV solutions. So you do not have to uninstall your yellow or green or blue solution you have in place. You can just place it beside your traditional endpoint security solution, and then you are protected against these next generation threats also. But is it 100% security? No, we will never have 100% security in IT. Therefore, we at Sophos are building something, or have built something a few years ago that's called synchronized security. And it can be compared to something that we see often in work in a bank, for example. It's teamwork. So we are bringing together our endpoint and our network products to provide you a better protection. So it's like two guards standing, one inside a bank, another one outside a bank. It's pretty good to have some guards, but wouldn't it be nice if these guys could also communicate? So therefore, we invented walkie-talkies. And it's the same for our IT security solution. So we are not using walkie-talkies now, but we are using our security heartbeat technology. So this is linking together these solutions. And where do we have implemented them? Well, we have our next generation endpoint offering, protecting your endpoints. And we also have it integrated in our XG firewall. So that's our next generation brand for our firewall systems. So what do we get from it? You will get an accelerated threat discovery. So these systems are working with each other, so you will immediately get an information if something goes wrong. You have an active source identification, so you know where the attack came from, of course. And you will also have, and that's the most important thing, an automated incident response. So this system will automatically respond to the threat and will solve the issue for you. So in a small scenario, how will it look like? If the endpoint, for example, finds some kind of malware, well, then it will raise an alert. That's normal, but it will also set the small traffic light to red, and the small traffic light indicates the security status, so that's what we call a security heartbeat. Now this information can be passed to the other components on the network, so we will inform our encryption agent to remove the keys temporarily so the bad guys cannot steal my sensitive data. We will inform the firewall that the firewall is also capable of isolating this client so that this client cannot reach out anymore to the production zone, to the server zones. So we are keeping everything shut until the solution is resolved on this client. This is how it would look like when our endpoint would do the job. But as I told you before, there's no guarantee that we have 100% security in IT. Therefore, it's even more important that we have a team play between the security solutions. So now imagine a scenario where something slips through the endpoint protection. So some dropper of some malware is located on your machine. So what typically happens nowadays with malware, the malware will call home. And then if we have a good firewall, we heard just some of my colleagues before, so they all have the technology to spot this information now. They will see, okay, there's some host is compromised, he's communicating with the outside world, so we have some command control server traffic. And then the solutions will tell you, okay, great, we're isolating the traffic, but then we have an issue. So if I'm the lucky guy, I'm the network administrator, so I will just call the endpoint administrator and tell him, okay, listen, something slipped through your endpoint protection, so please get to this machine and do something. So as an endpoint administrator, I will put on my running shoes, I will run to the system, I will pull out the Ethernet cable, and then I have two options. One option is somehow to restore an original image of this machine, to get rid of all the threats. The other option is to do some forensic research, but it's pretty hard since the endpoint solution didn't find the threat. So this is the big problem that we often have in IT, so the response and the response time that we have. So we at Sophos, we want to save you some time. Therefore, in our world, this firewall has spotted this information, so the firewall got all the important information about this attack, so it will just communicate to the endpoint and tell the endpoint, listen, you're in trouble, there's something running on port 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so please end this process, stop everything that has something to do with it, clean up the registry, clean up the files, and bring the system in good shape again. But also keep in mind, please inform all other attached solutions that we are currently compromised. So the endpoint is also informing our encryption solution and tells the encryption solution again to remove temporarily the keys so no one can steal our information. That's the idea, really, to have a collaboration of security solutions. So to summarize it, we gain unparalleled protection with this. So we have best-of-breed products. So also will reference to Gartner and analysts. We are a leader in the endpoint space. We are a leader in the UTM space. We are a leader in the encryption space. But now we are bringing these best-of-breed solutions together to work as a team. And we didn't just start now. So we have this running since 3.5 years now. So everything is ready for implementation. So take a look at it. Give it a try. So where do we have it implemented at the moment? We have it implemented in our traditional endpoint security product. We have it implemented in our next generation endpoint security product, which can run beside our competitors. We have implemented it on server platforms with our file encryption solutions and also in our next generation firewall. Everything is managed centrally from our administration console. This is Sophos Central, where you will also get some insight what's really happening in your network. So you have all the reporting, everything, all the administration interfaces for all these solutions in one place, which makes it really easy to administrate. And we won't stop here, so shortly we will also introduce this concept and to our mobile products and to our wireless products. So this was something that we are expecting to come this year. So we want to have really everything in one place and working together as a team. Football championship is starting soon, so it's like if one defender misses the ball, the other one jumps in, kicks the ball away, and we are preventing the goal. That's the idea of our synchronized security. So last but not least, just to highlight some of the free tools, if you're interested, we are giving away. So we are focused on businesses, of course, but anyways, we are giving away a few goodies if you're interested for home use. So we have our Sophos Home offering, endpoint protection for Mac and Windows. We also are giving away our firewalls in home editions and AV for Linux, of course. And thank you very much for your patience, and thank you. Bye.